Picture a busy local market. When a vendor prepares their stall for the day, they must decide whether to bring a small basket of goods or a massive stockpile. This decision is governed by economic laws, which describe predictable patterns in human behavior. These laws track how producers consistently react to changes in their market environment. The law of supply states that, all things being equal, when the price of a product goes up, producers are willing to supply more of it. When the price goes down, they are willing to supply less. This relationship acts as the underlying engine for every business, dictating how they manage their inventory and plan for growth. This table is a supply schedule. It tracks the specific relationship between changing prices and the amount of rice a vendor is willing to bring to market. As we move down the rows, notice how both variables increase together. A price of 1 corresponds to 8 cups, but a price of 5 leads the vendor to supply 40. This graph organizes that data visually, though it follows a specific economic convention. Price is always plotted on the vertical y-axis, while quantity remains on the horizontal x-axis. By plotting the coordinates from our rice table, we create an upward-sloping supply curve. This line visually represents the direct relationship between price and quantity. Try this yourself with a new dataset for cups of gari. Pause the video and use these prices and quantities to sketch your own curve. If your line slopes upward to the right, it confirms the producer's incentive. Higher prices make it more viable for a business to increase their output. This relationship can also be calculated using a supply function. This equation predicts exact quantity supplied based on specific price inputs. If we substitute a price of 100 into this formula, we multiply it by 0.25 to get 25. Adding that to our base of 50 gives us a total quantity supplied of 75 units. Now, see what happens if the price increases to 120. Pause here and calculate the new quantity supplied. Using 120 as our price results in 80 units. Because the quantity rose alongside the price, the calculation confirms the law of supply. Whether we use a table, a graph, or an equation, each method describes the same reality of how producers behave. This matrix breaks down the forces behind the law. The profit motive is the primary driver. When market prices rise, the incentive to produce increases alongside potential earnings. These patterns assume ceteris paribus, or that all other factors remain equal. If production costs suddenly rise, like a piece of machinery breaking down, the relationship between price and supply changes. Producers also work within a specific time horizon. A price increase today might not result in more goods immediately, as businesses need time to adjust their operations. Isolating the impact of a price change is only possible if we assume these external factors remain constant. This image of a farmer drying cocoa beans illustrates the law at a national scale. When global cocoa prices rise, Ghanaian farmers are incentivized to increase their harvest to maximize their share of that export revenue. This exact same principle applies to gold mining and shea butter production. Higher international demand and rising global prices lead these specific industries to intensify their activities and bring more products to market. To summarize, the law of supply shows a positive relationship between price and quantity. We can express this through a schedule, a curve, or a mathematical function, provided other factors stay the same. Understanding this relationship allows you to predict how both individual vendors and entire nations will adjust their production as market prices shift.